All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Kansas City. Garry versus Prates has ended. I'm gonna go my full card post-fight reactions, starting off with Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards. So I did all right with picks. I only mispicked the wrong fighter in two fights, but I did not get the exact methods of victory correct. This was one of them. I picked Edwards by decision. She went out there and knocked Chelsea Chandler out in the first round. TKO'd or whatever. Um, is it just me or these women's MMA fights here recently? We've been getting a lot of finishes. It seems like we went through a patch where it was just nothing but boring decisions. And then here recently, they've been turning it up, getting knockouts, getting submissions, finishing fights. This wasn't a terrible fight, even though like the level here is pretty low. The fight itself wasn't that bad. Chandler really wasn't able to find too much success. I think a little bit of grappling, and then she ended up getting reversed. And Edwards got up against the cage and finished her. Chandler couldn't run into the cage and knock herself out. Edwards ended up doing it this time. Moving up the card. Timmy Coimba versus Roberto Romero. I went with Timmy Coimba in this, I think, by decision. Sometimes I'm a little foggy on my picks. I don't really remember what I picked exactly. That's why I try to put it in on Tapology shortly after making the video so that I can have it there. Ends up getting the second round flying knee TKO. Kind of a crappy stoppage, I'm not going to lie. Romero was working his way back up and like was immediately ready to continue the fight. So I don't think he was out. I think it was somewhat questionable of a stoppage, but I do think Timmy was going to be able to, regardless, I think he was going to be able to finish Roberto Romero in that instance anyway. And up until that point, I was scoring that fight for Timmy Coimba. I believe the judges gave him the first round as well. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they did. I did, at least. Moving up the card. Jacqueline Amorim versus Polyana Viana. Polyana Viana absolutely gets dominated. I don't know where these 23 strikes are giving her. She couldn't have landed more than half. Like, I didn't even think she landed 10 strikes on the feet. Like, that'd be pretty generous saying she landed 10 strikes on the feet. I think most of those strikes would have been from when she was on bottom position. Because I don't think they have control time on here, do they? No, they don't. She was essentially both the first and the second round got controlled. The second round even faster than the first. Viana was taken down. Has zero ability to get back up off of her feet. Or get back up to her feet from bottom position. And that's what she's supposed to be good at. She's supposed to be a good jiu-jitsu artist. And she's not. She's just not good. Probably is going to need cut from the UFC. And for Amorim, okay, you beat Polyana Viana. I mean, yes, you completely dominated her. And that's, if you want to look for someone and they're, how good they could potentially be in the future, if they're absolutely dominating trash cans like Polyana Viana, then okay, they're definitely a step ahead at least. So yeah, we'll see in her next fight how she does. Moving up the card. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon gets slumped down, face down, ass up in the canvas by Wellmaker. Great fight. According to this, not a lot of strikes thrown. Wasn't a super long fight. Up until the knockout, I thought Cameron was doing good in the fight. I was scoring the round for him. And if it kind of continued on that trajectory, he definitely would have won the first round. But he leaves himself open. He leaves himself exposed. And Wellmaker knocks him out cold with a check right hook. Puts Cameron Simon out. Probably going to get him cut from the UFC. I believe that's 3 straight losses in a row for Cameron Simon. You have to Wellmaker, Talbot. Who's the last one? The weight bully, bantamweight. What's his name? Christian Rodriguez. I'm excited to see the future for Malcolm Wellmaker, although I'm not 100% sure. What does this win mean? Do I think Cameron Simon is a complete bum? No. I do not think he's a complete bum. He's probably bottom of the barrel UFC caliber, um, but I don't think he's some type of bum. I think, does he belong in the UFC with the standards they have now? Probably, but I think this will probably get him cut. Understandably. Moving on. Damon Blackshear versus Alan Hellinger. I think that's how you say it. Alan Hellinger. For me, I thought it was a very easy fight to score. I had all 3 rounds for Damon Blackshear. Was able to. There wasn't really much grappling in this fight. But I think I went Damon Blackshear 3rd round submission. I got that wrong. But wasn't much grappling in this fight. It was mainly striking, and I thought it was pretty clear. The only round I thought was somewhat questionable was the 2nd round, I think it was. And I believe one of the judges might have gave Alan Hellinger the 2nd round on the scorecard. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I believe that's the case. But I thought Blackshear outstruck him all 3 rounds very clearly. Probably one of, in my opinion, the easiest fights to score on this card. Moving on. Again, okay, maybe I take that back. There's a couple other fights that are pretty easy to score. We have Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Chris Gutierrez gets it done via split decision. Honestly, I was unsure if he was going to get this or not. So, first round, clear Chris Gutierrez round, in my opinion. Landing the better shots. Using good leg kicks. 2nd round, very competitive round. I scored it for Chris Gutierrez. I thought he landed the better damaging shots. Landed the better shots and was able to control the, I guess, pace and pressure. And then 3rd round was a clear John Castaneda round. So I scored the first 2 rounds for Chris Gutierrez and the 3rd round for John Castaneda. I'm assuming, I didn't check the scorecards, I'm assuming the judge that scored the fight for John Castaneda probably gave him the 2nd and 3rd round. Because again, there's no way you can give him the 1st round because that was clear Gutierrez. And there's no way you could give the 3rd round to Gutierrez. That was clearly John Castaneda's round. So it came down to the 2nd round. And I thought Gutierrez had done enough to win the 2nd round. But, you know, he's been ranked before at bantamweight. I don't see him getting ranked again at bantamweight. I kind of see him as he might be like a top 15 gatekeeper. Like if you can get past Chris Gutierrez, you can fight for in the top 15 in your next fight. It's something like that. I don't see him going very far. I think he kind of reached his ceiling as far as what he's going to do in that bantamweight division. Bantamweight's one of the most stacked divisions in the UFC. So I don't see him going too much further. And I think he's kind of older, maybe. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Moving up the card, we have Evan Elder versus Gage Young. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of zoned out on this fight. I didn't really give a shit to watch it. Didn't really care about it. The guy Young took it on a few days' notice, I believe it was. I might have lied. This might have been the easiest fight to score on the card. Evan Elder. There was a few moments Gage Young had, but not much. Evan Elder mixing up the striking, going good shots to the body, mixing up with shots to the head. I mean, essentially just outstruck him for 3 rounds, and Gage Young didn't have too much to offer. He was able to stay in there for the whole 3 rounds. Didn't really look super tired, which I was kind of surprised with him taking it on such short notice. But when guys come into the UFC and on short notice like this, the UFC tends to not hold it against them, if you will. So maybe they won't hold this against him, and he will get a full training camp for his next fight. Moving up the card, the featured prelim, actually a very alright fight. I was about to say a very good fight, but it was an alright. It wasn't too bad of a fight. We have Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. And for some reason, I could 100% be wrong. I don't know. I thought this was supposed to be both of their retirement fights. I don't know if that was true or not. I saw something online about it that Matt Schnell said he was going to retire when he got knocked out by, was it Urseg, I think? then had one more fight left on his contract, wanted to just complete his contract, be done, have one more, and then be done. I don't know. They didn't give an Octagon interview. They gave Anthony Smith an Octagon interview after he lost. And Matt Schnell won. I don't see why this is that controversial of a decision. I saw some people online kind of complaining that they thought Jimmy Flick won, but again, who's going to argue, oh, they really robbed Jimmy Flick? The only thing I will say that kind of stinks up this performance by Matt Schnell is he was blatantly cheating with his toes in the cage, using it in the grappling to help get him to get sweeps, to try to get submissions. I don't think he was close to getting any submissions while cheating. Kind of sucks that the referee didn't catch that. The other thing the referee didn't catch was trying to stop the fight at like 5 or 10 seconds early because the clappers went off and he thought it was the air horn. I don't know how he did that, and he did it. I think he did it twice. Yeah, I think he did it during the Jack LaMomorum fight and the Meshino fight. It was Dan Mergliotta. It was the same ref for both fights. I might be going crazy. I think he might have done something in the main event too. I think he might have done some funky shit. Oh, it stopped a few seconds early, but I don't know if that was necessarily his fault. Anyway, back to this fight. First round, I scored for Jimmy Flick. Clearly out, like Matt Schnell was doing good on the feet. Then Flick was able to secure takedown, do some damage on the ground, get the first round. Second round, Matt Schnell is able to... Was it the second round? Yeah, I think he busted up Jimmy Flick in the second round, cut him with an elbow, I think it was. In the third round, you know, again, when the story of this fight was whenever they were on the feet, Matt Schnell was getting the better of it. Third round, Matt Schnell doing better on the feet. Flick initiates the grappling, and then Schnell is able to reverse it, take his back, and win the third round with the damage he did on the feet plus the back control time. So, you know, hopefully if Matt Schnell is wanting to retire, this would be the ideal situation to go out on a win and not get brutally knocked out. Moving up the card, opening up the main card. I'm happy to get this prediction correct. Almost didn't. We have Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. Ikram Aliskerov finishes Andre Muniz in the first round via TKO. This was kind of a slow fight. Not as slow as I think it's the next one. Or maybe it's the one after that. I can't remember. Kind of a slow fight. Ikram going forward. Muniz kind of just defending and circling. Ikram kind of looked, you know, in his last fight he got knocked out by Robert Whittaker. So I think he was a little gun shy in this fight, and I think maybe they had his grandpa or his dad out there as well watching him. I think it was either before or after they showed him on camera when they were announcing him. They showed an older guy in the crowd, and I'm assuming it was his grandpa or his dad. But maybe he could have had some nerves or something in there. Looked pretty cautious in this fight, was landing good shots at the body, landing good shots up top. Finally, he has got Muniz up against the cage towards the end of the first round and hits him with a left hook. Yeah, I believe it was a left hook. Kind of a delayed reaction from Andre Muniz. And then he starts wobbled, backs up, hits the cage, and Ikram goes in for the kill, gets the finish in the first round. If Ikram, he calls for someone, he wants someone in the top 15 again. I think he could probably crack the top 15. I think him versus a Boost would be a very good fight. I might make that into my fights to make video. I'm not sure yet. But I think that would be a very good fight. Ikram Aliskerov versus a Boost Magomedov. But yeah. Muniz really just didn't get anything going. Like, he was throwing shots, but none of them were really landing or super effective. There was never really any moments where he had Aliskerov in trouble, couldn't really implement the grappling at all, which I think Ikram, you know, maybe Muniz has the better jiu-jitsu, but I think Ikram definitely has the better wrestling. So yeah. An okay fight. We'll leave it at that. Moving up the card. Definitely, okay, got fight of the night good. Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. This fight was a straight-up banger. Great fight. First round. I'm going to be honest, I want to look up the scorecards because I don't know. When I was watching this fight live, I really did not know who to score that first round for. I was probably going to lean Randy Brown. I mean, they both dropped each other in this, but Brandy broke Dalby's nose in the first round. So I think I would probably lean is to give him the first round. But the first round, they were just going back and forth. I mean, it was constant back and forth. Uh, Dalby trying to track down Randy and implement his power. Let's see. So two judges gave Randy Brown the first round, and one judge gave Nicholas Dalby the first round. Again, that was a very hard round two score. I'm glad I wasn't a judge for that one. I probably would have leaned Randy Brown, but again, we don't know if the judges knew that he broke his nose. In between the first and the second round, Dalby's corner snaps his nose back into place. But, just because you snap it back into place doesn't mean it's fixed. It's not fixed. It's still broken. Go back to the second round. And you can tell that it's hurting Dalby when he's getting hit. Randy is targeting the nose, going for it. And they kind of get where Dalby's hurt. He's not out. He's stung. And he just starts swinging. They're both swinging for it. And Randy Brown clips him with I believe, was it a right hook? I don't remember what it was. But he just like Cameron Simon, he plants his face down, ass up in the canvas. Knocks him out. I think it was a right hand. Knocks him out. The first person to knock out, to finish Nicholas Dalby. No man has finished Nicholas Dalby before. Randy Brown was the first man to finish Nicholas Dalby. Pause. But yeah, really good fight. Glad they got fight of the night. I'm glad Dalby got $50K even though he got knocked out. Now, this may, Nicholas Dalby is old. He's 40 years old. This may change his career. He might be done after this. If he continues to fight, he might be, his chin might be gone now. Randy Brown cracked it, and it just might not be there anymore. Because before that, he used to take punishment from fighters, take damage, and keep going. But yeah, great fight. One thing I don't agree with the commentary on at all. Laura Sanko was like, get this man a ranking next to his name. It's like, no, he just lost to JDM not that long ago. He lost to, why can't I think of the damn guy's name? Brian Battle. I think that might have been the fight before this one. He does not deserve a top 15 opponent. Get him 2-3 win streak. Okay, since he's kind of a perennial contender, I get that. He's always in exciting fights. Get him 2 to 3 wins. Then let him fight somebody in the top 15. Like, come on. Moving up the card. We have Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. Damn, excuse me. What can I say about this fight? The first round, clearly Abus Magomedov. Pressuring, landing more. Pereira really didn't do anything in the first round. The commentary team was saying this, and I'm kind of agree with them. I think Pereira's game plan, and according to the translators or whatnot, they told the commentary team that they told him to stick to the game plan no matter what. I think Pereira's game plan, I think he was afraid to get gas out. I think his game plan was to kind of just defend the first 2 rounds and not really do anything unless he sees a clear opening. And then in the third round, go for it, because that's exactly what it looked like he did. He really didn't do much. He did a little bit more in the second round. I did score the second round for Michel Pereira. I thought he landed the better shots. Both guys looking tired. Both guys looking very tired. It's like you put on 2 guys who have knockout power, crazy fun techniques to get the knockouts. They have absolutely no gas tank. Either one of them. So yeah, going in the third round, I've got it scored 1-1. And going into that third round, they're both looking tired. At one point, Abus clips Pereira and hurts him. And he could have finished him, but he was too tired. He was almost like, okay, I know I've got him hurt. I can kind of just sit here and chill for a minute, catch my breath a little bit more. Again, third round, I thought it was clear. 29-28 for Abus Magomedov to beat Michel Pereira. He will be ranked in that top 15 of the middleweight division, or at least he should be ranked in the middleweight division. Uh, I think that this is the downfall of Abusmagomedov. He has all the skills to become a champion, except cardio. He will not. I don't know if he'll crack the top 10. He might. He might crack the top 10, but I don't think he's going to go much further than that. He has absolutely no cardio. If he had cardio for 5 rounds, I think Abus Magomedov would be champion. Maybe Hamzat could beat him with the grappling, but Abus has very good grappling himself. I really believe that, and that might be a hot take. I don't know, but the cardio, like he shot in, like his timing for takedowns. I know he was kind of talking about in his post fight. He doesn't know if he wants to be a striker. Doesn't know if he wants to be a wrestler. He's kind of, he wants to do what the fans like to see, which is strike, but he's also good at grappling. He shot in, like, he's got very good fight IQ when it comes to shooting takedowns. He's got very good timing when it comes to shooting takedowns. Not the best fight IQ in general, though. But kind of a very lackluster fight, if I'm being honest. The crowd was booing it. It was all right. It wasn't too bad. I understand if you paid money to be there. It wouldn't be very fun and exciting. Moving up the card. Featured fight. Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. Listen, hot take. I think I scored this fight for Giga. I don't think David Onama did enough to win this fight. First round, Chikadze's outdoing David Onama very clearly. Drops him, hurts him at the end of the third round. It was a competitive. I might need to dial it back a little bit. It was a competitive first round, but it was clearly Giga's round. He was landing the better shots, clipping David Onama up. And when he hurt David Onama at the end of that first round, Onama was able to secure a takedown quite easily. But there was like 30 seconds left. So Giga was kind of just getting his guard, just chilling there, waiting it out. Second round comes out. I don't think it was very long. Onama had, what would happen? It happened in the second and the third round. Giga would start doing good on the feet, landed, he'd start finding his rhythm, and then Onama would be able to secure a takedown, and that's how he won the second round. Now, in the second round, he had a lot of control time, but he did do damage. This is going to be the key here. David Onama did damage when he was in top position in the second round to Giga Chikadze. That's what won him the second round. So on my scorecards, I've got it 1-1 going into the third round. The third round, Giga is just battering Onama on the feet. And what does Onama do? He gets him down. I don't exactly remember how much control time he had, but he did not do anything with it. He maybe landed 10 strikes. I want to say it was like 2 minutes. Because of that control time, it was probably 2 minutes and 30 seconds of him just laying on Giga. Towards the end of the round, he started to be a little bit more active with his ground and pound. But for like a solid minute and a half, he was not doing anything. He was just laying there, maintaining control. And you could tell either he needs to, at this point, he's 36 years old, he's not going to work on his grappling. He needs to work on his takedown defense and his get-ups. That's all he needs to work on. You could tell Giga was just trying to stall the fight so that the ref would stand them up. Even his coaches were yelling, he's not doing anything, stand them up, which I think is fucked up. They shouldn't do that. If the refs wants to stand him up, the ref will stand him up. If not, shut the fuck up. But yeah, I think on the feet, if this is a pure striking match, I think Giga wipes the floor with David Onama 7 days a week. But yeah, he can't defend a takedown. He got out-grappled. And even with him being out-grappled in that third round, I still scored the third round based on damage to Giga Chikadze. I think he landed way better on the damage he did on the feet outweighs the control time and the no damage David Onama did on the ground. That's my humble opinion. Let me know what yours is in the comments below. Moving up the card, the co-main event, Anthony Lionheart Smith takes on Zhang Mingyang in his final professional mixed martial arts bout and gets absolutely fucked. I don't know who the hell I'm talking about. Anthony Smith got the dog shit beat out of him. He had I don't know what he was looking to do. I really don't. He was just walking forward. Ming Yang was lighting him up with leg kicks. Hard leg kicks to Anthony Smith. Elbows, shots to the head, shots to the body. Anything, any type of strike Ming Yang wanted, he was hitting Anthony Smith with it. And, all Smith did, he landed a couple good elbows. That's all he did. I think maybe 3 or 4 solid elbows. He would just walk forward, try and clinch with Zhang Mingyang and elbow him. I'm assuming what he was looking for was for Zhang to kind of put himself out of position. And Anthony Smith is good at taking advantage when an opponent puts himself out of position to be out grappled or put in a submission. He that would be the one thing he's good at, is he knows when to go for that. But Ming Yang did not give him that chance. And in fact, when Smith got hurt with his head cut open, he shot for a sloppy takedown and just curled up in a ball like Anthony Smith does. Took a dog shit beating. And I will give the referee props. Who the fuck was it? One of the better referees, Jason Herzog. He gave Anthony Smith, and I'm assuming he did it. He gave him so much time to work. I didn't like time it to see how long it was. I'm guessing it was a solid 10 to 15, maybe 20 seconds of Anthony, you got to move. Anthony, you got to move. I'm going to stop it. Anthony, move. Do something, Anthony. Anthony, you got to move. Anthony, move. Anthony, you got to move. He gave him every opportunity, and I'm assuming he did that because he knew this was his last fight. He knew he wanted to give him every opportunity to come back and win. Because, you know, we've never really seen Zhang Mingyang out of the first round. They were talking about that, I think, in this, the commentators were. So we don't know what Zhang Mingyang is going to look like in the second and the third round. You know, if he blew his load trying to finish Anthony Smith in the first round and could not get it done, could Anthony Smith come back and win the last 2 rounds? We don't know. Probably not. But I'm assuming that's why Herzog was giving him every opportunity. And then after he wins, he flips off someone in the crowd. Good for him. And they give him like a nice retirement video and everything, which is, good for him. Where was this retirement video for Stipe Miocic? I know Carlos Esparza got one similar to Anthony Smith, but Anthony wasn't even a champion. He fought for the belt, got the dog shit beat out of him. Like, who gives a fuck? I get it. He's been around forever. He's fought forever. He fought in Strikeforce. I get it. I understand. But over these last few years, he just wasn't good, man. He just wasn't good. Moving up the card, the main event. One of my 2 predictions I got wrong. As soon as the first round went how it went, I'm like, oh yeah, Gary's got this. So we have Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates. Essentially, rounds 1 through 3 were the same round. It was Prates plodding forward, Garry lighting him up with strikes, then circling off the cage and continue. Shooting in for takedowns. Garry did implement the grappling quite a bit in this fight. Even if he didn't get the takedowns, just shooting the takedowns, making Prates defend. He did that in all 5 rounds. Then we get to the 4th round. Again, it's more the same. It's Garry lighting up Prates on the feet. Then Prates clips him and hurts him. I'm not sure if he broke his nose or not, but he hurt Garry towards the end of the 4th round. So I ended up scoring the 4th round for Prates. Before that point, it was a Garry round, though. Going into the 5th round, Gary's trying to do the same. But then Prates was, in my opinion, even before the little ending sequence, I think I was still leaning Carlos Prates on the 5th round, but he still would have lost via decision. Then towards the end of the 5th round, which I don't understand. I don't know if his coaches didn't relay this information to him, if he just didn't give a shit, if he has no fight. I think he's just stupid. I think he just has no fight IQ and is stupid. He needed a finish. There was no way he was going to win that fight if he did not get the finish in that 5th round. And he hurts Ian Garry badly. He has him hurt badly. If I remember, I think Garry shot in on a takedown. Prates was able to defend it, reverse it, end up on top. He hit Garry with, I think it was an elbow and some hammer fist, and you could see Gary's face. If he would have followed up with 3 to 5 more shots, I think it would have put Garry out. But Garry did a good job of scrambling, getting up on all 4s, getting in doggy style position. Prates looked like he was about to smack him on the ass. And then essentially, I think it was like the last minute of that fight was just all Prates pushing forward, trying to finish Garry. There were moments where if Prates, I think it was like in the last 30, 45 seconds, 10, 15, 20 seconds, somewhere in there, where Garry was still hurt badly. And Prates, I don't know if he was too tired, didn't have the energy to continue striking, didn't have the fight IQ. If he would have just went for it, he could have finished Ian Garry in that last round. It is his fault. He didn't win. He got the dog shit beat out of him for the first 4.5 rounds, essentially. Is Carlos Prates a fraud? I don't think so. If anything, that shows when it comes to a dogfight, you go with Prates. When it comes to a cleaner fight, you go with Garry. Garry is going to be the backup for the title fight here in 2 weeks or something like that. A couple weeks. The Bilal Muhammad versus JDM. And that is official. Dana White confirmed it. Let's say everything goes smoothly. It doesn't matter who wins, whether it's JDM or Bilal. Ian Garry claims he's next. No. You have one win. You're on a 1-fight winning streak. When I would rather see, honestly, regardless who wins, I would rather see Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady 2 or JDM versus Sean Brady. I think that's way better fight. But yeah, other than that, this was a good fight. It was essentially an Ian Garry masterclass outside of like 1.5 rounds. I think you Prates won the back half of the 4th round, which gave him the round. And then Prates also won the 5th round very clearly. Fumbled the bag very badly in that 5th round. Carlos Prates did. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of this? What did you think of the fight? Do you think Carlos Prates fumbled it as badly as I do? Let me know. Make sure to subscribe if you guys have not already. Drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.